Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. Today, we're covering Apple's September 9, 2025 keynote and its latest iPhones, AirPods, and watches.
So, at their awe-dropping event, Tim Cook got on stage and said this, promising the biggest leap ever for the iPhone. Now, that is a very bold claim, right? Especially after what feels like years of smaller, incremental updates. So, what does this big leap actually look like? Let's break it down. Was it some kind of software breakthrough, a huge jump in artificial intelligence, or was it something you could actually hold in your hand? Turns out, Apple is placing a massive bet on a very specific kind of innovation this year.
And it all starts here. The undisputed star of the show, the one product that had everyone talking, was a device that brings a truly legendary name to the iPhone lineup for the very first time, the iPhone Air.
This is the number. This is the stat that just blows my mind. 5.6 millimeters. That is how thin the new iPhone Air is, making it the thinnest iPhone ever created. To give you some perspective, that's thinner than its main rival, the Galaxy S25 Edge. It's about as thick as 4 dimes stacked on top of each other. I mean, that is just an incredible piece of engineering.
But here's the kicker. Apple didn't just make a super thin phone. They packed it with some serious power. We're talking the same A19 Pro chip you find in the top-of-the-line models, a gorgeous 120 Hz ProMotion display for that super smooth scrolling, and to pull it all off, they used a new polished titanium frame and, get this, went eSIM only across the globe. That move alone freed up a ton of precious space inside.
Okay, so where does this crazy new iPhone Air actually fit into the lineup? Well, its introduction basically reshapes the entire iPhone 17 family. You can see the big shift right away. The Plus model, it's gone. The iPhone Air swoops in to take its place. It now fills that sweet spot for people who want a big screen and a Pro-level chip, but maybe don't need the whole triple camera setup of the Pro models. Honestly, it makes the whole four-phone strategy feel a lot clearer, a lot more distinct. And this is a huge deal for the regular iPhone 17. For years, that buttery smooth 120 Hz ProMotion screen was one of the main reasons to pay more for a Pro model. By finally bringing it down to the base model, Apple has closed one of the biggest gaps in its entire lineup. It's a fantastic upgrade. Now, shifting gears to the Pro models for a second, let's talk about zoom. 8x. That is the new high watermark for optical zoom on an iPhone. The new 48-megapixel telephoto camera can get you 8 times closer to your subject, and that is a massive jump. For photographers, this is a total game changer. So you might be wondering, with all that power for the camera and the chip, doesn't it get hot? Well, yeah, pushing all those pixels generates a ton of heat. That's why Apple introduced a brand new vapor chamber cooling system inside the Pro models. This is some serious hardware designed to keep the phone cool under pressure, whether you're gaming or shooting high-res video. Of course, the event wasn't just about the phones. Nope. Apple also came through with some major updates for its most popular accessories. We saw a completely refreshed Apple Watch portfolio and a serious overhaul for the AirPods Pro. Okay, the AirPods Pro 3 are getting some pretty wild upgrades. Apple's claiming they've doubled the active noise cancellation, but they're also getting way smarter, with Apple Intelligence powering live translation for conversations. And for the very first time, they're becoming a real health device with a heart rate monitor built right in. That's pretty cool. Over on the wrist, Apple basically refreshed its entire watch lineup, and it really clarifies their whole strategy. You've got the entry-level SE, the flagship Series 11 for most of us, and then the super rugged Ultra for athletes and adventurers. It's a nice, clean, 3-tiered approach, no confusion. And each one gets a big new feature to define it. The Series 11 can now alert you to signs of high blood pressure. The Ultra 3 gets satellite connectivity for those off-the-grid emergencies. And the budget-friendly SE3 finally gets an always-on display. Plus, all 3 models get a nice speed bump with the new S10 chip and faster 5G. All right, so we've got all this amazing new hardware, but let's talk about the thread that ties it all together. We got to look at the new software design, and we have to address the elephant in the room. Apple's, let's call it a very particular approach to AI. On the software front, everything is going to look different because of this new design language called Liquid Glass. It's a major visual overhaul for iOS 26 and watchOS 26, bringing this more transparent, layered, almost glassy feel to everything from your notifications to the control center. It's a really fresh coat of paint for the whole ecosystem. And that brings us to the big question. While all of Apple's competitors are seemingly screaming about generative AI from the rooftops, this event was surprisingly quiet about it. As The Verge pointed out, that AI buzzword was really missing from most of the keynote. So what's going on?
Well, what this really shows is a huge difference in strategy. See, Apple isn't ignoring AI at all. It's just embedding it quietly, behind the scenes. It's the machine learning that powers that live translation in AirPods or helps the iPhone man a cheat. The competition? They're putting the AI chatbot front and center, making it the main feature. Apple is betting on a totally different path.
So, let's just take a breath. We've seen 4 new iPhones, 3 new watches, and new AirPods. After that whirlwind of announcements, what's the big picture here? What's the one thing you should really take away from this year's event?
When you boil it all down, it comes to this. Apple is making a huge bet that a stunningly thin phone that you can actually hold in your hand, something crafted from polished titanium, can still create more genuine excitement than a chatbot. That biggest leap Tim Cook was talking about? It wasn't about AI. It was a radical return to innovating the physical object itself.
And that really leaves us with the central question of this whole tech cycle, doesn't it? In an age where software and AI are getting smarter every single day, is a beautifully engineered piece of hardware still the most important thing? Apple is betting a whole lot that the answer is yes. And I guess the success of this lineup is going to tell us if they're right. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.